I'm sitting here with
Melissa Charette,
and Melissa is the Olympic
Capital Region ESD 113,
Teacher of the Year, and she teaches.
A special education functional academic class.
Yeah. And so tell me just a little bit about your classroom.
So we work on time telling and money management and personal information, so things that'll help students be more independent in their lives later in.
Okay. And so what is your biggest strength as an educator?
My biggest strength is probably getting to know each of my students. I love finding out what makes them tick and the things that I need to change in my world to make sure that they succeed.
Okay, so can you give me one example of that? I've seen a lot of things happening in your classroom. They do a lot of movement, they move from thing to thing, and there's very individualized instruction that happens. So tell me a little bit about an example maybe.
So an example was I had a student that kept having trouble second period, and so we built in scheduled breaks for him and to have some downtime, and when those weren't working, then we scheduled in exercise instead, and so he goes and runs in the hallway. Yes, in the hallway. And it's able to calm his body down, and he's able to succeed.
Cool. So you said that your strength is getting to know your students, which is very clear being in your classroom. So how do you know the impact? Like over the years, how have you, so getting to know the students, how do you know that that has a positive impact on students, both as individuals and as learners?
I think the biggest impact or the most important thing for me is when parents tell me that they see the difference at home, and what I'm doing in the classroom can be taken home to be utilized in their natural environment, because really that's what my job is all about, is helping the parents support the independence of their students.
Okay, so what is maybe a mistake or a failure that you had sometime in your career that continues to impact your practice today?
So I think as educators, we make a lot of mistakes, and that's how we learn, is reflecting and taking that information with you to the next student. So my biggest mistake was early in my career not listening enough to my parents. When they gave me information, I would track it down and listen, but I don't think I really took it to heart, and parents know their students the best, and I think we as educators need to use that knowledge.
Good. So, what was my other? Oh, what is your message? What's your message to first, to other educators, second, decision makers, and third, community members?
So other educators, my message would be, how can you integrate special education students more within your classroom and in your school? To think about that every day. How can you make them more successful? How can you support in their learning? And then reaching out to others who are doing it well and taking what they're doing and implementing it within your classroom. Legislators, I think we really need to focus on finding and keeping and getting good special education teachers. And I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. And I think you need to be reaching out to special education teachers who are in the field and asking them what needs to be done, because we're losing people at a horrible rate. And these are the kids that are most vulnerable and need good teachers the most. And they deserve good teachers, and we need to figure out how to fix that. And then community members. Community members, I'd like for them to be more open-minded and realize that people look different than them, and to not judge others, and parenting strategies. Parents with kids with disabilities, their parenting styles may look different. Mm-hmm. And instead of judging from the outside, I'd love for us to take a more supportive role, such as what do you need? How can I help? Mm-hmm. I think that would help my parents a lot.
That's awesome. Okay, so we were just talking to Melissa Charette, who's special education teacher at
Washington Middle School, Olympia School District.
And what is your website? www.
I don't know.
Yes, you have a website, your blog.
I know, but I have to read it off the card.
Teach Sped now?
Seriously, I have to read it off the card.
Just a minute. We're going to get her card so that she can tell you. It's like .wix. Yeah, I'll cut it.
I was like, no, I don't know.
Maybe. Okay.
teachspednow.wixsite.com/website.
Okay. So her website is
teachspednow.wixsite.com/website.
Okay, and I'll put it on the bottom of the screen. All right, thanks for talking to us, Melissa.
Thanks for visiting, Mandy.